Well, hello there. Oops, forgot my mic. I'm a little early. I started the live stream just about 5 minutes, 6 minutes early, something like that. I noticed on Facebook a few people were having trouble finding the place to join. So I just wanted to start a few minutes early to give them a little time to find the video and hook up to it and make sure everything's working okay. But we've got Novala in the house. Welcome, Novala. Carla is here. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be kind of a shorter video, I think. This is a public video, so anyone can watch it. It's not a members-only video, but I'm going to be doing these once a week now, I think, just on Fridays. Just a little painting demo or something like that for everyone else who is part of the Facebook group. Sandra's here. Hey, Sandra. And Lee has joined us. Hey, Lee. So I'll just wait and let some people come on. I think we have a few minutes to go before we actually get started. So it's just going to be kind of a fun Friday live painting demo. I think I'm going to be doing, and I'll probably do something similar to what we're doing that month in the membership. So just so people can get a little bit of a taste of what we're going to be doing in there. Of course, it's not going to be members. All the good stuff will be for the members, but it'll be just kind of a fun little taste of what's happening kind of inside the membership, and then an extra little video or painting for the members to watch too, which I think would be kind of cool. We've got all kinds of people joining us now. Welcome, everybody. So I opened it up a little bit earlier. Just Karen is here. Yay! Karen is having some issues connecting. I'm so glad you're on, Karen. I'm glad you found us. Perla is here. Awesome. Welcome. Roxanne is here. We've got all kinds of people here. So this is going to be just a fun little painting demo. I'm going to do a straight pour, kind of like what we've been doing in the membership. I'm going to use some crazy colors. So I want to do kind of a Halloweenish type of a painting, similar to the one we did last week, but I'm adding another crazy color to the mix to see what will happen. So I don't often work with all these wild colors, so Halloween is fun because we can just go crazy and do some really fun, awesome stuff. Mary is here. Hey, Mary. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment. And so hopefully you'll like, Mary said that she likes my work. Thank you very much, Mary. Hopefully this one will be good. It's going to be a crazy one, but I think it'll be fun. So this is going to be, like I was mentioning earlier, just a more of a quick demo on Fridays that I'm going to make. I'm going to be going live like I normally have been in the past, but only on Fridays. Anyone can join and check out this demo, and I'll answer questions, of course, and I'll talk about what we're doing. So I think it'll be a fun little Friday live stream. So Deborah's here. Kia is here. Hello. So I think we're probably pretty close. I don't know what the time is. Oh, here it is. We've got a couple minutes to go before it's 5. So I just kind of started early just to let people join in. So anyone have amazing weekend plans? I don't particularly. I'll be doing some painting, but that's about it. So I can't believe it's the weekend already. This was a fast week. They've been flying by. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so cool. Well, it's 4:58. So I'll show you a couple things we've been doing. This is the Halloween painting we did. I think last week I think it was the painting night live that we did for the members in the membership. But this is kind of a fun, crazy Halloweenish painting. So we're going to do something a little bit similar to this one tonight, but I'm adding another extra wacky, crazy color. So we'll see what happens with it. But this is a fun painting. So that's somewhat similar to what we'll be doing tonight. And then we did this one Wednesday, just this last Wednesday. This is one of the paintings we did in the membership. This was a straight pour using the fall colors. They both dried really nicely. And we got these really awesome cloud-like cells because we were using the metallic white paint. So that one turned out really nice. I really like that painting a lot. So these both turned out really, really well. And let's see. And it says Karen is having an issue. Oh, it's freezing over there. I thought the picture was freezing. That would probably be better. But extreme wind in a 3-day lockdown. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I hope you're safe, Karen. Yikes. So well, that's terrible. Well, I wish you all the best, Karen, and hopefully you can do some painting to pass the time and stay warm, please. So, and Lee asked, is there anything particular used to get that cloud effect? Well, this is I'll show you the painting again. This is the one we did Wednesday in the membership. And yeah, this yellow, this is metallic white that I used and added just a tiny bit of Naples yellow. So that's really what created that cloud-like effect is metallic white. I'll show you what brand I used. I think I have it right here. It's just the Artist Loft metallic white. This is a really awesome color. And it can create those really interesting, cool cells. So I had metallic white and then I don't have it in front of me, but just a tiny bit of Naples yellow from Liquitex Basics. And we got this really pretty, just a really light yellow color. But that metallic white is what kind of creates the cloud effect. It's kind of a fake cloud effect without using the satin enamel. So it's kind of a fake way of getting it, but it doesn't always have this effect. But I've noticed it does that quite often. So using that cool metallic white. So that was a fun one. We did two kind of like that. So cool. Well, it is 5 o'clock. So that's a good question, Lee. Thanks for asking that. Hey, JC. We just started, so don't worry. We're just getting going. I opened up a few minutes early just because people were having trouble kind of finding the live. So this is just just kind of an open, quick kind of painting demo. So it's not a members only demo. Anyone can join. So we'll talk about what we're doing, and because now it's 5 o'clock, so we can get started, I think. So what we're going to be doing tonight is something similar that we're doing this month in the membership, which is a straight pour. And I'm going to be doing Halloween colors, which they're fun to do. I really like them. So we're going to do something kind of similar to this, which we did last week in the membership. So something similar. I'm just going to be doing a 12 by 16, the same size. And this is a canvas. It's all prepped and ready to go. And I'll show you the colors we're going to be using in a second. So basically what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing lives on Friday, just for anyone that wants to join and check out what we're doing. It's kind of like a little sneak peek into what we're doing in the pouring studio, which is the membership, and which is currently closed, but it'll be opening up again soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but soon. So if it looks like fun and you would like to join, you can always join the waiting list for the pouring studio. And I'll put that up. I'll put the link in the chat a little bit later. So we're going to be doing tonight a straight pour using 4 different colors. Let me flip the camera. I'll put my gloves on and get ready to go. And I'll show you the colors we'll be using. And these are always going to be different. So I showed you this one. And so I guarantee it's not going to look like this. Plus, we're adding a different color along with that. So maybe just put these back here. So let's see. I got my little cup. Let me flip the camera and I'll show you our colors for our little demo. So here we go. And so we've got, this is just a black. This is just a regular Artist Loft black with a little bit of metallic black in it. The Artist Loft metallic black. So it's kind of a 50-50 mix of that. I've got Brilliant Purple, which is, I love this purple. It's just a really kind of bright, vibrant purple. And we're going to be using my favorite green, which is this lime green from Liquitex Basics, which is just a wild color. And I never use it because, you know, what are you going to use that with? But so Halloween colors, awesome. It's like the perfect time. And then we're going to be adding some fluorescent magenta, which I love this color too. But again, it's like a tough color to use because they want to take over. So this is a wild color palette. We've got 2 colors right here that are going to be fighting for dominance, but it's going to be fun. And I think at least it'll be interesting. So to say the least. So we're going to pour on a 12 by 16. And for that, we need about 6 ounces of paint. And to cover it. And I need to get some paint for a base coat. And I had some back here. I'm just going to use, this is just a leftover paint. So I think I'm going to layer the cup first. How about that? And I also I filled out my handy dandy acrylic pouring journal page. So for the members, I'll put this in the membership if you want to have access to it. So I have all the colors listed and then the paint order, which I'm going to layer the colors. So I'll put this in the membership for you and you can check it out if you want to, if you like the painting. If you hate it, then you probably don't need this. But just getting my keyboard out of the way. So I'll set that over here for a moment. Now let's layer our cup. I have my order all ready to go. I predetermined how I was gonna layer these colors. And by the way, I haven't tried this yet, so we're learning together. We'll see what happens. I have done the purple and the green, but I haven't added the magenta yet, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start with my purple. I want the purple to be, this is kind of the least, what am I trying to say? This purple will kind of get hidden or buried because of the green and the magenta are really going to want to like overpower it. So I want to put the purple in first. That way it'll kind of be in the center of our rings and things. So it'll be more in the center of interest. So, and then I'm going to use the magenta next and put a little bit of that in. I'm going to kind of try to tone down the magenta just because it's so loud and powerful. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the black. And I want to just do a little bit of that. And then I'm going to go with the green. And again, that's going to want to really take over. And then I'm going to put a little more black in. And then go back to the purple. And I'm just going to do this probably, 3 times, maybe 3 layers of each color. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. And back to a little bit of black. I just want to kind of have the black in there, in between the layers, because the black will kind of mix with the other colors, but darken everything up. So that'll kind of give it the more Halloween-y feel. If we left the black out, this would just be a crazy wild, vibrant painting. So I think the black will help a lot to give it kind of a dark feel. Okay, where am I at now? We need a little more black and a little green. Okay, we're almost there. It's the last layer of purple and of magenta. And that'll just about do it. And it will do it for my magenta too. So cool. Just move these aside. There is our cup. I'm going to just set that right there. Now I'm going to just put down a little bit of a base coat. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different. I just had an idea. So I'm going to do a different type of a base coat called the flow extender one, but I'm going to be using, I'll just use the colors we have here, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to clean that up. I was going to just do a regular base coat and then just pour it and then tilt it, but I think I'll try this other way. Just thought of that. So I'm just going to wipe this up just a tiny bit. It's actually okay to leave it. So there we go. And now the time has come. We can pour our paint. Now you could pour out of either side. I'm going to pour out of the opposite side that I layered. Just because I find that I get some more interesting results that way. So let's see what happens. And I'm just pouring in kind of a thin stream, but I'm varying the height. And I'm also going to turn the cup as I go here. Okay, so at the end, I'm going to just pull it away and try not to get any drips in my paint puddle. And there we go. We've got a crazy wild paint puddle happening. So far, I like it. So I'm going to just expand the paint puddle open a little bit. And we don't have a base coat on there, so I don't want to stretch the paint puddle really large, but just kind of a little bit. So there we go. I expanded things a little bit more. So now I'm going to add just I'll just take the black and I'm going to put some black around this side. This will be kind of our flow extender. And then I'll use my kind of palette knife to kind of push it in to the puddle. So I have contact between the black and then the paint puddle, and then I can kind of spread this out to cover the rest of the canvas. And I'll bring some of this over here. Now so that side is covered. Now over here, I think I'll use the purple. And I'm going to wipe my knife off. So now what this allows me to do is if I have some kind of an interesting edge or line, I could possibly use the purple and create a negative space. I don't know if that will happen or not, but at least we'll see. Okay. Now I'm kind of out of my magenta. I'm kind of out of my magenta. let me grab a, but over here I'll use what I have left of the magenta. I didn't mix a lot of it, but I'll put that over here. So that's not going to do much though. So I'll just use the, don't know if I have enough purple. I'll put some purple down. This will probably get covered or tilted off, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, so I'm just going to take some of this purple and pull it over there. I got some black in there. That's okay. Cool. All right, so we've got the canvas covered now. And this takes a little more paint than putting on a thin base coat. But we can help kind of contain and keep some of this other stuff doing it this way. So now it's time to, I'm going to expand the paint puddle a little bit more to cover a little more of the canvas. There we go. So we have some interesting things happening. I think I'm going to tilt off of this corner first. Most of my paint is right down here, so it would be a good thing to do. And with my fingers, I'm just going to pull that paint over the edge and then tilt back right away. Now this one, we've got an interesting edge happening. I kind of like that. But I think I'm going to move the paint down there. I think I'll tilt off of this corner. And then tilt back right after that's covered. All right, so we've covered two corners, and that magenta is really starting to glow, but and that green is kind of subdued a little bit. That's interesting. So I'm going to kind of bring the paint down towards the other two corners. And so I'm going to tilt off of this one next, I think. There we go. And then once that corner is covered, just tilt back. Wow, so that is a pretty crazy painting. So, but I like that fluorescent is really starting to glow in there, which is kind of cool. So one corner left. I don't really like, I don't think I'm going to keep a negative space on this one. Just let the paint kind of move on down there. I'm trying to keep that green edge at the top. I don't want to lose that. So here we go. All right, so I covered that. I'm going to tilt it back now. I've got some spots in the top. I'll hit those in a minute. But that green line, I want to keep that for sure. And I'm just going to I want to tilt that down so it kind of comes down into the painting a little more. Okay. So at the top, we can use your thumb and just kind of pull that paint down and to cover the edges. So we covered everything up. I really like what we've got so far. Now is the time we can just take a look and see if there's anything else we want to do to the painting. I'm going to just wipe my hands really fast. And people wanted a black corner, I see. Oh, well, sorry. Sorry. I always disappoint with the negative space. But over here, I love everything over here. This whole part of the painting I love. I think I'm going to tilt off of this right down here. This is very uninteresting to me, this corner. And I want to kind of bring some of this down here. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to just kind of let the paint move and kind of work its way down there. So it's almost done, actually. It's tilting off very nicely. It's also bringing some of that green down in the painting more, which I like. So there we go. That's off. I'm going to just tilt back now. And I'm just going to change my grip. I'm going to turn it up this way. And just letting, I want to get that kind of center of interest a little more towards like a third of the way kind of in the painting. And it's almost there. I think I'm done. I think I like it. Well, that is definitely a Halloween-y looking painting, I think. I love that green. I love that green up there. But that magenta is it's just so bright. It's like glowing right off of the canvas. I know it's probably difficult to it doesn't translate through the camera as well, but that color is amazing. And that's a Nova color. I'll show you which magenta I use. I think I have it here. Oh, here it is. So this is the magenta. It's a fluorescent magenta from Nova color. And it's just such a super bright color. And Nova color makes professional grade paints. So they're very highly pigmented. And I like them a lot because, getting my label all messed up, but I like them a lot because they're a little more fluid than the tube paints. So you can use a little bit less of it, actually, because it's so highly pigmented. But it's a great paint. And this color in particular is a really crazy bright color. But of course, it's hard to use that unless you have a very high key color palette that you're working with. Magenta it wants to take over everything. So it's perfect for something like this, where it's just like we're going for kind of a garish, fun, bright, Halloweenish kind of theme. I really like it. So this is a cool painting. I really like how the green and the magenta work together, and the purple. So I'm pretty happy with this one. And I haven't used this color palette before, which is which is always a little risky because you never quite know what's going to happen. So, but I'm glad it worked out. And so let me see if there are any questions. I know I've disappointed half of you or more because I tilted off all of the negative space. But let me scroll back up here real quick. And thanks for all the great comments. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, yep. So I disappointed Midwid here, and Vet, sorry, and Novala, I'm sorry. So I disappointed many people. I normally, I just kind of, and of course, Angela's also disappointed. I'm sorry. I never really leave the negative space unless I kind of plan for it. But I do like negative space, so I'm not against it at all. I really like it a lot. I just kind of, when I do it, I like to pre-plan for it. Oh my gosh. And Navala says, yeah, if you resin this one, it will be blinding. Yeah, it's almost there right now. But yeah, it's a very bright painting. But I love that lime green. I love that fluorescent magenta. So, and so Leah's going to try to find those, the bright colors. If you want to find Nova Color, Nova Color sells only directly to the public. And let me put their link in let me grab it for you and you can check it out. They make great paints. And let's see, and they're very close to me. They're in, well, not super close, but they're just up in LA, so they're north of me. Here's the link for Nova Color. I'll throw it in there. And thanks, Sonia. Sonia likes the composition. Thank you so much, Sonia. And Pat wants another one. Pat wants another one. Oh my gosh. I don't think I have enough paint mixed up. I'm all out of my fluorescent magenta. I better quit while I'm ahead though too. So, but let me, I'm going to grab something really fast. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I ran in and grabbed a color chart, and let me flip the camera back. Here we are. Here I am back. And so I just grabbed a color chart. This is the Nova Color chart. And it's a really cool chart because it's handmade. They actually have little swashes of each color, the actual paint, so you can actually see the paint and how it dries and transparency. So it's very cool. They don't have a huge, extensive range of colors, but they do have a lot of metallics, which I love. They have, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have like 7 different golds, which is amazing. I love gold. So they have like a lot of different golds. They've got some magentas or fluorescents down here. This is the fluorescent magenta. So you can get these for like $1, I think. They're extra. If you place an order, you can get one of these for I think $1. But it's a pretty extensive color palette, but it's not as big as golden. Obviously, they have about 1 billion colors, But they have all of the important ones, I think, and they are very highly pigmented. So this is professional grade paint, and the other thing is they're pretty reasonable. You can get quite a nice quantity of paint for not a lot of money because they sell direct to the public and they don't have any markup. This is I think this is 4 ounces. So this is 4 ounces, this little jar. So this is typically what a one of these is, like a Liquitex Basics tube. So this is also 4 ounces. I think, let me see how much this is. I think they have a chart on here. But so it's probably similar. It's like probably comparable, like $4.50 to $6. It depends on the color. Some colors are more expensive because they have different pigments and things. So these are not all priced the same. It varies by the color. But as soon as you go up, if you go up into like a 16 ounces, you can get a 16-ounce container, and that's about, let's say, $7.50. So that's pretty good. And then the price goes down the more quantity you get, the more amount of paint you get. So you do have to order direct. You have to pay shipping. So it's nice to kind of combine an order if you want to try out their paints. Try out several of them, so you don't have to pay for shipping, every single time. But they are great paints, and I really highly recommend them. So I'm going to move this forward here, and I'm going to check and see if we have any questions. And I'm going to also, let's see here, copy this. All right. And let's see here. So Lee asked, does adding pigment help? Well, the pigment is built into the paint. And so if you have more pigment in your paint, you can actually use a little bit less paint. So you could change your ratios. So in essence, if you wanted to use like all Nova color paints, or something like that, you could probably switch from a 2-to-1 ratio, let's say, like 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint. You could probably go to like a 4-to-1 ratio because there's more pigment, there's more binder, and it'll be able to extend or stretch your paint further. I hope that makes sense. Hope that was your question. So you can actually kind of save a little bit of money with your paint. But of course, now you have to also consider what consistency you're going for, because if you like double your Floetrol or your pouring medium, you're going to get thinner mixtures. So you have to take that into consideration too. So, and Roxanne is saying, does the fan overhead affect your drying? Not really. It's turning very slowly, and it's hot in this room because I have all my video lights. I have lights behind me and I have lights over here. So it gets hot in here. And so I know I can barely feel the fan really turning. It just kind of it helps to kind of circulate the air a little bit. But I leave it on and I've never had any drying problems. In California, I'm in San Diego, so it gets hot. It can get humid, but I've never had drying problems with my paint or my paint cracking. I think it really comes down to the biggest contributor to cracking is too much paint. So I know how much paint I need to cover my canvases, and I don't like pile it on there. So but no, it's really. I've never really had any drying issues, so the fan doesn't bother me or my paintings. That's a good question, though. So, but that's me. That's in my studio in my area. So, it might be different for you, especially if it's more you're in a more moist climate, or if you're in a wetter climate, then that might cause some issues. So JC has a question. She's confused. More Floetrol, less paint gets more pigment. Well, it doesn't mean um, more pigment. It depends on the paint you're using. So like this paint, the Nova Color has more pigment in the paint as compared to like the Liquitex Basics. These have quite a bit of pigment, but not as much as like the Nova Color or like the golden paints. So what we're doing is like, this is like you can think of Nova Color as like super concentrated. It's got a ton of pigment jammed into it. With Liquitex Basics and other tube paints like this, there's more fillers in here. So there's less pigments, but more like filler, like some more like clear acrylic binders and things like that, acrylic medium. So, and then in like craft paint, there's a very small amount of pigments, and the pigments are what are the color. The pigment is like the powder or whatever they use to create those intense colors. But that's not the only thing in the paint mixture. There's the pigment colors, and there's acrylic binders, and there's also some other things to make it, to kind of like pad it out. So you get more, so like a 4-ounce tube of this is, I'm just making stuff up here, but let's say this is a 4-ounce tube. Maybe there is like a 1/2 ounce of pigment, let's say. I don't know that for sure. I'm just making up a number. But in like the Nova Color, this is also 4 ounces, but this would be more like 1 ounce of pigment. It's probably double, at least double. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So it's not so if you have more pigment, like really highly pigmented colors, you can use more pouring medium, and you'll kind of extend your paint further. Like if you use golden, like the golden fluid, you could use a very small amount of golden fluid actually, and you'll get, because those are super highly pigmented, and you could use a lot more pouring medium, a little bit of golden, and you still get very intense color. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if that's still confusing. And so, but all right. Any other questions? I'm not seeing, and oh, here's some more comments. Yeah, and JC, okay, so yeah, when JC says when she uses 5 parts Floetrol to 1 part Liquitex paint, yeah, I think the Floetrol, that seems high to me. That seems like a lot of Floetrol and not a lot of paint. Like it seems like you'd need more paint, but you'd probably be able to do that easily with like the Nova Color paints. And again, this all, we're just talking about the pouring medium and the paint. So you could probably do a 5 parts Floetrol, 1 part Nova Color, and you'll get very intense color mixes. My worry with like the Liquitex, this is still pretty good paint, but if you switch to things like Artist Loft or like the Master's Touch, your paints are going to start to get, your colors are going to start to dull and be kind of washed out, just because there's not enough pigment in your mixture. So if that makes sense. Now, if it's working for you, like the Liquitex Basics and 1 part, and your paintings are very good. So, I've never really tried it with that much Floetrol. But if it's working, keep going with it. If you're having success. So this is just, my opinion and my first thought. But I would be careful. I probably wouldn't do that with like the craft paints, unless you, so like if you're mixing up like a metallic craft paint or whatever, I'd probably want to have at least 2 to 3 parts of the craft paint and maybe 5 parts Floetrol. But that's a great question, though. I hope that is not super confusing. Angela had a question at the top. Let me go look for it, Angela. Angela had a question. Let me go hunt that down. I'm going to check out Angela's, see if I can find it. Okay, where are we? Sorry, I'm just, so many comments. Thank you for the nice comments. Oh, is this the one? Maybe. As a more advanced discussion, not necessarily tonight, but maybe in the pouring community as a topic of discussion, I would like to know if there is a way to remove dried paint from a canvas. Yeah, we could talk about that, to remove it. I'll have to think about that, Angela. That's a good question. And then my first comment to that would be, why would you want to remove it? Is it like, is there a big problem with it? So maybe a little more, we could share a little more and talk about that in a little more in depth, a little more, maybe in the Facebook group. That would be a great place to talk about that. But yeah, we could talk about removing paint from a canvas. Sure. And let me go down to the bottom here. And let's see. And so JC is saying, so JC's ratio has been 5 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint for like the last month or so using Liquitex in Amsterdam. Yeah, if it's working, if you're happy with the results, and the consistency is good, like it's what you want, continue to do it. You know, that's because there are many different formulas. I have the ones that I use, but I have not tried all of them for sure. So if if that one's working for you and you like it, stick with it. And, keep exploring. I'll try it too. I'll mix up my paints with 5 parts to 1 part and see what happens. And I'll do some paintings that way. Then I can give you kind of my feedback. So, but yeah, don't change it if it's working. So there's a wise man once said, do more of what works and less of what doesn't work. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. And let's see. I think, Donna's mentioning that she's used gesso to cover a dried painting, so I could reuse the canvas. Yeah, I'd be careful with that, like gessoing over a dried painting. I think it's better to just either paint over it with acrylics and then do another pour on top of it. Gesso, I found that gesso can gesso does not like to stick to acrylic paint. Like it's great for going on the canvas, and it loves to stick to the canvas, but it's not great at adhering to like dried acrylics. So we might have the problem might be the gesso will actually peel right off after time, over time. So I've had that happen. So that is, I know other people have used gesso a lot and don't have that issue. There's also a lot of different gessos out there, and they're all made up a little bit differently. Some are thick, some are thin, some have more of certain ingredients than other ingredients. So it all depends on like a lot of different variables. And let's see. And so JC is also asking, yeah, I will definitely try out your mixture, the 5-to-1. I'm interested in seeing if that works. Now, I know that Sarah Mack, you've probably heard of her or seen her paintings. She's really good. She uses a a mixture similar to that with a lot more Floetrol than paint. So, don't worry about that. I think if Sarah's doing it, I'm sure it is just great. So, alrighty. Well, I am not seeing any other questions at the moment, but I'm going to put this up here. If you're new and just watching me for the first time or visiting us again, and you're not a member of the Pouring Studio, which is my new paint pouring membership, I've got a lot of my founding members in here, which is awesome. And but we're not open right now. We've closed, and we're kind of feeling things out and improving the membership. And I'm counting on my founding members to kind of help me with some feedback and things. And so we're going to make it as good as we can possibly make it. But then when we reopen in the future, I'd love if you would join us. So you can't join right now, but you can put your name on a waiting list, which you can find right here at acrylicpouringacademy.com/studio. And you could enter your name right there on a waiting list, and I will tell you and keep you updated on when we will be reopening again. And I'll also throw that in the chat. So right there. So you could, if you want more information about the Pouring Studio, there's also some info on that page you could read as well. But so I'll be doing these lives on Friday, and I'll be just doing a painting demo and probably something similar to what we're doing that month in the membership. So you can kind of get a little sneak peek of what we're all about in the Pouring Studio, and I'll be happy to answer questions about that. And I got Novala is asking, let's see here. Monique asked difference between iridescent and pearlized. Iridescent and pearlized, they're very similar. I think, in my opinion, they're, well, there's a couple different things. There's like an iridescent medium. It's kind of like a metallic medium. And you can add an iridescent medium to your other colors, and it'll give it like a more metallic look. Now, there are pearl mediums, and there are also pearl paints. And those are a little bit more like color shifting paints. But everyone kind of has a different name for them a little bit. Now, excuse me. Nova Color has like a pearlized, they have like pearlized paints. Let me flip the camera. I wonder if that will show up. Let me try it. So like Nova Color, they have like right here, it's probably kind of blurry. Like this is red pearl, orange pearl, yellow pearl, blue pearl. Now these colors are very translucent. So if you add these to your paint, it's kind of like a color shift paint. So if you use like a blue pearl in like a blue or in like a purple color, when you turn the painting, when it's dry, you'll get kind of like this pearly shift to your paint. So these are really kind of like a color shift additives that you can add to your paint, or I mean, if you're just using like a paintbrush and you paint on a layer of pearlized, these pearlized colors, they're very translucent, but you'll see them when you turn the painting or you move around the painting. It'll give this color shift effect. So that's kind of like a pearlized type of an additive. And then they have, like a metallic color, like golds or metallics. Those are also kind of known as iridescents. So I hope that kind of makes sense. But let me flip back here. So, and so JC is saying pearl paint by Upgrade and Inkblab are cool. Yeah, there's a lot of different pearl paints and pearl, the name is kind of a general name, but I've noticed that they can mean different things to different brands or different companies. So, so, I mean, some pearls are kind of color shifting. Other pearls are more of just like it's a different type of an iridescent color. So it's kind of like a really fine metallic paint. Like I think, what is it called? Well, Deco Art has like a, like a pearlized, like a pearlized paint, but it's more of a metallic. So it's not like a color shift. It's more of a metallic paint. So I'm sure that is super confusing. So, but hopefully it helps a little bit. I don't know. So, but okay. Well, anyway, that was our fun Halloween pour demo. Thanks for joining me. I'll take a picture of this when it dries, and I'll post it in the Facebook groups so you can check it out. I really like it. That crazy fluorescent magenta is a crazy color, wild. So I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment, but thanks so much for joining me on Friday. I think next Friday we'll be doing something else. I'll do something different. Maybe I'll maybe stick with the Halloween theme because I'm enjoying this a lot, but I'll try some other technique or something. So, anyway, cool. So, well, thanks so much for joining me. Barbara's here. Hey, Barbara. Barbara's in the house. She's my buddy. So anyway, well, thank you so much for watching and joining. Karen, stay safe over there in those winds. And I wish you all the best. So keep safe. I'm thinking about you. And but we will see you soon. I hope you have a great weekend. And I might be in the Facebook groups this weekend. I'll post some pictures and things like that. And but I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you very soon next week. Take care, and I'll talk to you again maybe this week.